I'm your host, Russell Stevens. Welcome to Living Life on Stop Recovery Radio, brought to you by Sobriety Through Outpatient. I'd first like to say thanks and acknowledge our producer, Mr. Robert L. Washington. And I want to acknowledge our three studio guests for this afternoon. We have Miss Mary, we have Mr. Malik Miller, and we have Miss Leah. Today's topic, I thought about, actually I didn't figure out a topic until about an hour and a half ago. Because I'd actually been wrestling with it in my head for the past 2 days since my last show. And what kept coming up was something that was obvious, and that was focus. Keeping the focus, or focusing, however you want to look at it. But the topic for today is focus. Now, for me, it's real easy. Most days, not all days, because some days I do lose focus. I'm human. My mind tends to drift. I tend to, do other things, and not focus in on me. But primarily, I keep the focus on God, first and foremost, and I understand that, because without God, I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't even have the breath of life if it wasn't for God. So God is something that I keep the focus in on first. And second, I keep the focus in on family, because I do have a family and I love my family, so I focus in on them as well as focusing on God. And I focus on me, while I'm here, and the reasons why I'm here. It's necessary for me to keep the focus on me, because for me it is about me. Like I've always said, you can, you help people along the way. You share your experience, strength, and hope as you go. You meet people. For me, I keep it moving. I give what I can when I can. But primarily, I keep the focus on me. And what that focus, I'll just briefly just say a few things on what that focus really, exactly means to me. I have to focus in on my attitude, which was the subject of my last show. We talked about attitude. And, like I've always said, every topic that we choose to talk about, they're always interrelated to the next, and on one level or one point or another, but I focus in on my attitude, and I do that every day because I want to have a good attitude. I want to project a good, positive attitude. I want to feel good so I can project this attitude and have this attitude, because for me that's real important. It's about shedding all those old behaviors and those old feelings and focusing on something new, doing something different, something different that I've always done, and not focusing in on what's most comfortable, which usually is those old behaviors and ideas and attitudes, because they're real easy to fall back on because I've done them for so long, So I'm practicing to focus in on positive things in my life, and focusing on the future possibilities of what I can do and where I can go with my life. And when I speak, I say that that's just for me. Someone else's view they may feel different. They may find focus to be about something totally else. I don't know, but we're going to give our studio panel a chance to talk a little bit or review their comments or opinions on focus. Would anyone like to start on how they feel about focusing?
Well, my name is Malik, and sometimes, I lose focus on, just some of the small things, when, I might walk down the street, or I might be doing something, and or a person might tell me something, or I might lose a relative, and automatic, I might lose focus on just me, myself, period. As in my recovery, sometimes people, they tend to say things in the wrong way, or tend to look at me different, and sometimes I lose focus. But all I have to do is, focus on myself and my recovery. Because it's about me. It's not about nobody else. It's about me living my life and focusing on what am I going to get out the situation. How am I going to stay on the right track? That's what I understand about focus. Focusing on my recovery. Focusing on just understanding how life is. That's what I understand about focus right now. Anybody else want to share?
Yes. My name is Mary Blossom. How y'all doing out there?
Hi, Mary.
I will also just like to comment on focus. Yes, about focus. I have a short attention span, and it's I'm sorry, it is very hard for me, as you saw. It's very hard for me to keep my focus, because a lot of times, as being human beings, look, we're not perfect. That's the saying. But a lot of times we always forget about ourselves and put other people first. Mm-hmm. And it's like we lose ourselves in return. You can't do that, because if you focus on your recovery, and you'll lose yourself if you don't put yourself first. If you think that you can take a whole lot and a whole lot just builds up, and then you don't do anything about it, and you just keep on reaching out to help other people, you have nothing left for yourself. And it's just like being in recovery, you always have to put yourself first. If you don't, you'll see the results and how the way they end up. It won't be good, I tell you that. I know that I can also say about myself that I don't always put myself first. I mean, it's just, but the one thing that I do know, that God got my back. That's all I can say. It's just that, as being people, we can't take a lot, but if we give it to God, He knows just what to do. And a lot of times I just be like, oh, geez, how can I deal with that? How can I deal with that problem? How can I just deal with this? But it works in the long run. I don't know how it works. I don't know. A lot of times I don't even know how I take it, but I know that God is real, and I know that He wouldn't bring me all this way for nothing to let me fail. So things in the past had a tendency just to not work for me, as not putting myself first, losing the focus. But I can also tell you today that I'm learning how to do that one day at a time. And thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Miss Mary.
Hi, my name is Leah.
Hey, Leah.
Focus to me, basically, at this point in my life, I'm focusing more on bringing myself back together. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of things that I put to the side in the past. And by staying focused today, I'm getting the inner strength from God to help me to rebuild what I once had, and continuing on a daily basis. And one of the things that I have learned by staying focused is keeping friends among you that want you to recover, want to see you go forward in life. Your old friends may be still doing the same things that they've done. You want to stay out of that surrounding and just keep moving forward. Start trying to stay among people that are positive and are willing to help you when you need a friend. And if you ask God to help you get through that process, He's going to always be there, whether you're in a sad moment or a happy moment, or you're just trying to get through the day. There's always going to be someone, if you just stop and pray. And when I say pray, you can walk down the street and say, God, I need the strength, because it's a liquor store coming up. Or I see those people over on the corner. stop, pray, God, get me past this moment. And if I have to, pick up a friend and call a friend and say, hey, I'm having a bad moment today. Help me out here. And your friends will turn your whole mindset around because God has placed them in your life to do that and to assist you and help you get through it. So you have to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, moment by moment, and every day.
Thank you, Miss Lee. I appreciate that. I like what everybody just talked about, you know, and Miss Lee, I'm glad you said what you said because, well, let me go in, not really in another direction, but I'm going to come back into what I really want to, you know, talk about at the moment. It's still about focus, but I remember a few months ago we had a group, and the facility talked about a paradigm. If anybody know what a paradigm is, and I come to understand is a paradigm is simply you view yourself one way, but the world views you another. You know, and he asked us to put our paradigm down like on a piece of paper, in order of importance. And typical of somebody like me, I was somewhere lost in the shuffle. When I had put that paradigm, I put self somewhere down low, somewhere where it should have actually been in the center of everything, but it wasn't. I had self somewhere on the side, and I think I had family in the center or something else at the center, but I was made to understand that self should always be at the center of the paradigm, you know. And it made me do a lot of thinking and a lot of reflecting, you know, and when I think about that, that helps me focus in on me because I have to keep me first. God ultimately, you know, I focus in on being number one ultimate because he is the creator. But I also have to put me in a real good spot too because it is about me today, and I have to keep the focus in on me because I'm learning that once I continually keep the focus on me, things fall in place. Everything will fall in its proper order of how they should be because I have God first and I'm focusing in on me, you know. Like I had talked about before about the right attitude, about me focusing in on my attitude because I haven't always had a great attitude, especially about me, you know, as opposed to everything else, you know. But I'm trying to keep it on me, and my attitude that I had on me wasn't real well, you know, low self-esteem, low self-worth, not thinking that I could measure up, not feeling good enough, all those feelings, you know, inclusive, you know, one big ball of insecurity, you might call it, you know. And me focusing in on me and having a positive attitude allows me to be able to change those things. I'm able to, you know, with the help of other people that are around me, that care about me, that see me, you know, helps to put me in the right direction. They help keep me focused, you know, especially during those days because, you know, some days I do fall short. I might, for an instant or two, get caught up in what this guy is doing or what this guy is doing or get into that bad habit of maybe wanting to point the finger, you know, because I've learned when you point the finger, you got three pointing back at you and you're losing focus on yourself. You're not focusing on yourself. You take that energy and for me, I try to invert it and I try to catch myself, you know, when I get, you know, into that frame of mind, you know. I remember early on, it was hard for me to focus in on certain things about me because I didn't want to take a look at them. I didn't want to acknowledge certain things about myself, you know, that I didn't like or I thought was ugly. You know, I just didn't feel real good about, you know. But through the help of my higher power, who I choose to call Jesus Christ, you know, I'm able to make those changes within myself. I can change about me what I don't like, you know, because he tells me I have the power to do that, you know, and he tells me that the power is in my mouth. All I have to do is speak it, you know, and it will come to pass, you know, and I have a lot of faith, not that I'm getting off of focus, you know, but I focus it on my faith too, so faith is in there too, you know, but focusing is something that I keep up in the forefront of my mind every day. Well, I can't help it really because I'm in a facility where I'm living in a facility with 12 to 15 guys, and every morning I wake up, I have to keep the focus on me. You know, for me, I have no other choice. I can't allow it to go any other place because there's some other places that I think I would rather be, you know, for myself. You know, I'm where I need to be, you know, and I want to be there because I need to be there, you know. But it allows me to stay focused, you know, because it allows me to see, well, God tells me that I'm only there for a season. Things happen in you know, for a season. And I know that I won't always be there, you know, and I don't want to always be there. But as long as I keep the focus on me and focusing on all the aspects of my recovery, and that's about staying clean a day at a time, keeping a higher power in my life, and those sorts of things, I can achieve everything that I want. I can achieve my goals. I can do all the things of my heart's desire because my higher power tells me that He'll give me my heart's desire. All I have to do is ask for it, you know. So focus for me is real important, you know. It makes up 90% of my day. Even when I'm walking down the street, I stay focused. You know, I'm headed to where I'm supposed to be going because this is where I need to be. I'm focused on going where I'm going. I'm not going to let anything come in and interfere to sidetrack me or to take me in another direction or take me from what I'm supposed to be doing. For me, that's keeping the focus. Coming to groups, making my groups, doing everything that's required of me to do, for me, it's keeping the focus, you know, and not allowing anybody or anything or any situation to take me away from that, you know, because I can never afford to allow that to happen. I've seen what happens when that happens, when you lose focus, you know. But anybody else with any comments on focus?
Like, I'll say it like this, like, when I was at the age of 17, like, well, I'm 28 now, so at the age of 17, you know, I started using drugs, so basically it was like, I didn't care whether I focused on my life or whether I lived or died. You know what I'm saying? It was basically like, well, I was saying, like, you know what, I gotta go get high. Because I wasn't focusing on whether if I wanted to go on a straight path, whether I wanted to go up the hill, whether I wanted to go down the hill, whether I wanted to go left, whether I wanted to go right. The focus was on not paying attention to what I had to do for me. You know, it was basically the drug taking over. You know, ripping and running the streets, not being there for my family when they needed me, in and out of prison. I wasn't focusing on me because I was scared. I was scared of the change. I was scared that if I changed, something was gonna happen. I didn't know how to change. All I knew was what I knew was the drugs. Now I see that, you know, I started to pay more attention and focusing on my life. I understand me more better than how I used to when I was 17, coming up from 17 to 28. You know, I focus on now going back to school. I focus on becoming a chef or going to culinary arts school. You know, I focus on, you know, being there for my family when my family need me now. I focus on just living my life like how I'm supposed to live it, not like how I used to live it. That's why, like, that's why I'm telling, like, you people, like, out there, if there's nothing else in the world, all you gotta do is focus on what you need to do for yourself. Like, don't let nobody else sit there and try to bring you down. Like, all you have is you at the end of the day. Focus on what you need to do for yourself. That's gonna help you in life, get you where you need to go. Because if you can sit there and dwell on what another person gonna sit there and say about you, then you're not focusing on how to live your life and be there for your family the way that